Bright QT. Every student matters.
Good morning. In the present video, I will be discussing Chapter 3, Topic 5, that is the different types of schools that we have in India. The first category of school in which, the youngest of the children go, it's actually called as the pre-primary school. It's also referred to as preschool in a lot of places, states and cities. It's also termed as nursery school. Play school, some people call it as kindergarten school, and it's divided into LKG, that's your lower kindergarten, and UKG, that's your upper kindergarten. Now, in this, usually children from 2 to 5 years actually are enrolled in the pre-primary school. Before the commencement of formal education, that is your first standard or your compulsory education, we actually send our children to this category of school, that is the pre-primary school. Moving ahead, so after your pre-primary school, you have something which is known as your primary school. Now, primary school word is actually associated with the education which is imparted between class 1 to 5. So it's actually 5 years duration, and it is accepted. This 1 to 5 years of education as primary school education is accepted in 20 states and UTs, such as Andhra Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Bihar, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh for that matter, J&K, Madhya Pradesh, Manipur, Odisha, Punjab, Rajasthan, Sikkim, Tamil Nadu, then Tripura, UP even, West Bengal, UT of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, then Chandigarh, Delhi, and some places of Puducherry, such as Karaikal and Yanam regions of Puducherry. So all of these places, they consider primary school from standard 1 to 5 or class 1 to 5. Now, there is a variation in this because there are some areas or some regions of our country who have a different differentiation for this particular primary stage. So classes 1 to 4, or you can say standard 1 to 4, is regarded as primary stage or primary schooling, which is given to students. And the regions which consider it as 1 to 4 are Assam, Goa, Gujarat, Karnataka, Kerala, Maharashtra, Meghalaya, Mizoram also for that matter, Nagaland, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu, Lakshadweep, and Mahe region of Puducherry. So these consider and regard primary stage as from classes 1 to 4. Primary education, it is preceded by pre-primary education, that is your kindergarten, upper kindergarten, lower kindergarten, and it is followed by secondary education. The subjects which are usually taught in primary education is science, geography, knowledge about history, then mathematical operations, arithmetic operation, maths, and other social sciences are usually taught in this particular primary stage. Then after primary stage, you have middle school. Now, middle stage of education or the middle schooling usually comprises of class 6 to 8 in as many as 18 states and UTs, which are Arunachal Pradesh, Bihar. Haryana also recognizes 6 to 8 as the middle stage or the middle school. Himachal Pradesh, J&K, Madhya Pradesh, Manipur, Punjab, Rajasthan, Sikkim, Tamil Nadu, Tripura, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Chandigarh, Delhi, and Karaikal region of Puducherry. Now, all these places regard class 6 to 8 as the middle stage of education or the middle schooling provided to children. Now, again, there is a slight variation in this. There are some places which regard class 5th to 7th as middle school. These are Assam, Goa, Gujarat, Karnataka, Kerala, Maharashtra, Meghalaya, Mizoram, middle school, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu, Lakshadweep and Mahe region. All these places regard middle school as classes 5th to 7th. Classes 6 to 7th are regarded as middle school in certain regions such as Andhra Pradesh, Orissa, and Yanam region of Puducherry. Interestingly, in Nagaland, classes 5 to 8, they are regarded as middle school. So it's different across different regions of the country. Now, after middle school is your secondary school, and it's also referred to as high school in some areas. It's usually consisting of classes 9 to 10 in a lot of states and UTs of India, 19 states to be precise, 19 states and UTs. Now, these are Arunachal Pradesh, Bihar, Haryana, HP, Himachal Pradesh, JNK, Madhya Pradesh, Manipur, even Nagaland, Punjab, Rajasthan, Sikkim. We have Tamil Nadu also, which follow this system of 9 to 10 as secondary school or high school. Tripura, that's your northeastern state. Then Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Andaman and Nicobar Island UT, Chandigarh UT, Delhi, Karaikal region of Puducherry. So majority of the states and UTs in the country, they regard secondary school, high school as classes 9 to 10. Okay. Now, the high school stage comprises classes 8 to 10. So again, you can see that there is slight variation. It is understood at classes 8 to 10 in some areas, which are Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Goa, Gujarat, Karnataka, Kerala, then there is Maharashtra, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Orissa, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, even Daman and Diu for that matter, Lakshadweep, and Mahe and Yanam regions of Puducherry. So in most of the places it is different, but yes, in some areas 8 to 10 is regarded your high school. So different understanding of different stages or different types of education, that's primary education and high school and secondary school in different regions of the country. However, the higher secondary or senior secondary stage of school comprising the classes of 11 to 12, that is usually it's referred to as 10 plus 2 pattern. It is available in all the states and UTs. Though in some states or UTs, these classes are attached in universities and colleges. So they're not actually associated with schools, but they're actually associated with colleges or even universities for that matter. Usually the subjects which are taught in the secondary stage, they are maths, science, you also have social science, then English is there, Hindi, or any regional language of the state that you are in, that is taught. Now in senior secondary stage, students, they have their subjects depending upon their interest. So they can actually tell what they are interested in and they can choose their field. And the different streams which are usually offered at this particular stage are medical. Then we have non-medical, in which you have instead of bio, which is taught in medical. In non-medical, you have maths. Then you can even opt for commerce or you can opt for arts. And in that, in arts, you can opt for subjects such as sociology, could be political science, could be public administration, psychology, etc. So you have the facility to choose as per your interest. Now, when we talk about the different types of school, as of now, we were talking in terms of chronological order, what are, the sequence of different types of schools and education which is provided. There is also another category of school which is referred to as boys' school, right? In the boys' schools, only boys are admitted. So no girls are actually given admission in these kind of schools. Therefore, they're referred to specifically as the boys' schools. Majority of these schools are government schools. These days, we also have some private schools which are only boys schools, convent type schools, Christian schools. But usually, earlier it used to be like this, that majority of these schools were actually government schools only. Then we also have another category of schools, which is the girls' schools, where only the girls are given admission. Therefore, the name, that's the girls' schools. Mostly, again, government schools. But yes, the trend is changing. We have a number of private schools emerging, which are only girls' school. Christian schools, convent schools, which are only girls' schools. Co-educational schools are also there, where both boys and girls are given admission and they study together. Most of the public schools, they come under this category of co-ed education, that is co-educational school system. Okay, another category of schools that you have, that is day school. So there is another differentiation which is there, that's your day school and your boarding schools. Day schools are where students stay in the schools for few hours. They receive their education from there during the daytime they are there for learning purposes, and there are teachers to impart this education to these students in the form of lessons. Once these lessons are over, these students go back to their parents and they stay at home. So they basically enjoy both formal learning, which is provided to them by the teachers at the school, and they also have the privilege to get informal education at home from their parents. So both kind of learnings they are getting. So these are the students who study in day school. Then you have second boarding school, which is opposite of actually day school. Now these are schools which are also referred to as residential schools because they allow students to stay in the school premises. So students who study in a boarding school, they remain in the school premises only. Even after the day's lessons are over, they go back home only at the time of vacations. There are teachers who take care of these students. There are wardens. Then there is a boys warden, and then there is a girls warden who take care of these students. There is a canteen facility for these students. Other facilities are there. These schools basically teach students self-dependence and self-learning. So a lot of skills are basically taught to students in these kind of schools. Children learn discipline. Children learn, the concept of brotherhood. They learn the concept of cooperation. They learn the concept of sharing. They learn a lot of social skills while they're at these kind of boarding schools. Moving ahead, there is another category of school which is referred to as adult school. Now, in these schools, only adults are given admission. So it's basically giving adults another opportunity to learn. So some adults, because of certain situations at home, because of any reasons, maybe because of poverty, they could not, actually get educated. So now when they are grown-ups, when they are adults, these kind of schools give them another opportunity that they can join these schools and they can be imparted education. So these schools are basically set up to remove illiteracy from the adult population. So it's a very good sign to benefit the social interests of a particular nation. There are technical schools also. In these kind of schools, there is normal education which is taught. Normal education in the form of history is taught, then social sciences, science, etc. Languages are taught. Along with that, technical education is imparted. Now, this is primarily done with the motive to train these students for a particular vocation or profession that these students are interested in. Could be that they're interested in sewing, handicrafts, etc. Or could be that they're interested in some kind of hardware, like computer hardware, etc. So these technical schools provide, these kind of education. Another category of school, that is special schools. In these schools, only differently able children, who are special children, they are given admission. So the first subcategory under special schools is school for the blind. So over here, only children who are visually impaired, either fully visually impaired or partially visually impaired, they are given admission. So the learning is actually provided in the form of, there is a method which is known as Braille teaching method. So learning happens by the method of touch. So over here in the picture, you can see that there is this Braille terminal which is there through which the student is learning. Second subcategory under this kind of special school is the school for the deaf and dumb. So this is children who cannot either speak or they cannot even hear. So education is imparted to these kind of children with the help of science, with the help of symbols. So teachers who impart education to these students, they are well versed in terms of sign language and symbol language. Another category of special school, the subcategory, the third one, is the school for mentally retarded. These are the people who are mentally challenged people. So when we talk about mentally retarded, we are basically referring to children who have very low IQ. So they are usually taught in some specific sports school where teaching is done through different methods, which is like activity method, where there are facilities to engage the student in such manner, and which promotes some kind of touching. So learning is actually usually through touching. These children are usually very slow in learning because of their IQ levels, that's the intelligence quotient levels. Okay, another subtopic that I will be touching upon in this particular video is about influence. The kind of influence schools and teachers have on the lives of students. So according to Raymond, what is true of the influence of the society at large during the whole period of human life is true of the influence of the school and society during the juvenile period of life, when one is in his youth. Corporate light of the school helps to place upon the boy or girl the mark or stamp, what all of us call as characters. So in the school, characters of students develop, and Raymond is basically trying to establish the fact that schools have a lot of influence over the students' mindset, and they have a lot of role to play when talk about students' character development. Okay, now when we talk about schools, which are the formal agencies of education, students learn a lot from school. They learn how to maintain silence. Now, basically, maintaining silence comes under discipline only. So they basically learn to respect the different rules and policies which are prevailing in the system. That's the school system. So they learn how to maintain silence, when to maintain silence. They also learn the importance of silence, especially in libraries and places where silence must be maintained. They learn that. They learn to obey commands. Now, this is not only in reference to the teacher's commands or the principal's or the headmaster's commands. It's also in reference to that, obeying commands of parents, obeying commands of elders in general. Students also students also learn from school how to remain neat and clean. That's the concept of cleanliness. How important it is to stay hygienic. Students learn how to be punctual. So the importance of time, the value of time is what school teaches students. They also learn how to be regular. So there is a routine which students actually learn to follow when they are in school. Regularity and punctuality, yes, students learn from school. They learn how to do homework. So yes, when they're children, they are doing their homework. When they grow up, they understand that when they're working, they have to do their work. So they understand the importance of work actually. They learn to participate in various competitions. They also understand that it's not about winning, it's about participating. They understand that it's all about healthy competitions, it's all about healthy participation. They learn that it's important to be in uniform. Uniform actually brings uniformity in all the students, where every student, despite their different background or coming from different ranks of society, different socioeconomic backgrounds they may be having, but all of them are regarded equal because they are wearing the same kind of dress. That's a uniform. So they learn that also, that we are all same. Maybe we are speaking in different languages, maybe we have different backgrounds, maybe we follow different religions, but we are all same. So uniformity, the concept of uniformity, the concept of oneness is brought in students because of this concept of uniform. They learn how to be disciplined in life. They also learn how to prepare for exams. They learn how to prepare for tests. So once their schooling, once the education is also completed, they understand the importance of tests and assessments in their life. So when they have to go to some interview also, they understand what kind of questions come, what all knowledge they must be having with them, what all skill sets they must be having in them, so that they're considered suitable and an appropriate candidate for a particular job. Students also learn how to participate in sports and games. They learn, soft skills such as arts. They learn how to paint. They learn how to sing, dancing, etc. All these depending upon their interests. They learn to obey the rules and regulations of school. They also understand what is the importance of this rules and regulation. They understand that without these rules, regulations, policies, school cannot actually function. So this is actually to bring smooth functioning of the school. They learn to respect teachers, parents, elders, and people in general. They learn, the right use of libraries. They understand the importance of libraries. They understand the value of libraries. They go to library, they read, and they increase their knowledge. Now, a teacher also has a lot of influence in the life of a student. Teachers actually, with the kind of personality they have, they help in the growth and development of the personality of the student or the child also. The kind of behavior, the kind of actions the teacher, exercise and carry out, that has a lot of influence on the mindset of the child. Teacher actually, for many students, is a role model. So student observes teacher. He, very keenly looks how the teacher behaves, how he walks, how he talks, and then he tries to copy his teacher. Especially, the interest level of the teacher should be very high when it comes to, interacting with the students. It shouldn't be like this, that the teacher is not concerned about his students or is disinterested or less interested. It's important that he is highly interested in his class. It's also important that he has a caring attitude towards the group of students that he teach. Why is all this important? Because teacher is actually a guiding force for all students. So students actually look up to the teacher for, any kind of assistance, any kind of guidance, support, be it emotional support, be it moral support, etc. So teachers actually should be teaching leadership skills to the students. That is something which is very important. Um, in many places and in many schools, monitorial system is actually followed, which is a practice where, monitors are made in the class or in the batch. So these monitors actually assist teachers in performing their duty in the best possible way. So teachers, usually select a class representative or a monitor, usually one or at times two. If it is a very big class, maybe three also at times. And then she takes or he takes the help of these monitors to, bring discipline in the class and for the smooth execution and functioning of the entire batch of students. There are other factors of influence also, which we will be looking one by one. For example, that there should be a school assembly where the students and teachers can meet on a regular basis. Now, usually the school assembly, there should be a defined place for this assembly, first of all. And usually the school assembly should happen, early in the morning. The first thing in the morning when students enter the school, that's when there should be an assembly. Now, the importance and why there should be an assembly is that so that there can be, prayers and singing choir system should be there, and singing the national anthem. That kind of platform can be provided to the students. Also, assembly becomes important for congratulating students, if they won something, or, if they have become successful in some particular field, they have achieved something, or they have, won some particular position in some competition, etc. So that platform actually enables the teachers, the headmaster, the principal to congratulate the student, something which is very motivating for the students and must always be done. At the same time, the school assembly gives a platform where the headmaster, the principal can actually express condolences. At the same time, it gives a platform where announcements can be made. So anything which is important to happen during that day or, in the coming days, those kind of announcements can actually happen in this school assembly. Okay, it's usually encouraged that students should come to the school in the school uniform for the reasons that I have just a couple of minutes back discussed with you, because uniform, a proper dress establishes uniformity, and all students, despite what background they have, what financial status they have, what kind of parents they have, all of them, they are considered equal by the teachers and the school authorities. Students must have a school badge because that's a pride for the student. It also creates a we feeling, a oneness among the students, that we are all one group. So that's also important. Students must have a school motto, or at times a logo, a school color, which should be worn by pupils, that's the students, on special occasions in the school. It's important that Republic Day, because that's a very important day for the nation, Independence Day, birth anniversaries as well as death anniversaries of great persons, in order to pay tribute to them, they must be celebrated in schools. If they are celebrated in schools, children or students, they realize the importance of these days, they realize the importance of these people, their contribution towards the nation. So that is the reason they must be celebrated in schools. Other days such as Parents' Day must be there, Annual School Day, the Founders' Day, usually schools have. These are things which must be done. There should be proper organized prize distribution ceremonies or programs to give away prizes to students who have won some kind of quiz, let's say some competition, or have succeeded in something in their life. Moving forward, then it's important that students learn the concept of cleanliness from the schools. Tree plantation drive, that's actually exercised by some schools, and it's brought very positive results. So tree plantation drives must be promoted in schools at regular basis. For example, each one plant one, which means every student has to plant one tree. Now this actually teaches the student to respect environment, to respect mother nature, and to understand that they have a very important role and they must contribute to the nature. Punishment must be avoided as much as possible, must be avoided in schools, should be used only as a last resort. So when we talk about a school, it must have a good building. Good building means that it must be maintained. It's not only a building which is created and then it's neglected. It must be a well maintained building. Modern amenities must be there in terms of laboratories, the tests which are used, the tools which are used, especially for lab classes. All these should be modern, updated tests and tools. There should be a playground. It must be a spacious playground which can accommodate all the students. A big hall should be there where students can interact with each other. Facilities such as library facilities, facilities such as laboratories, chemistry laboratory, physics laboratory, bio, etc., must be there. Drinking water facilities, so coolers, water coolers should be there at different corners in the school. That is very important. Basic facilities such as hand wash facilities should be provided in schools. Toilets should be there, separate toilets, very important. Clean, separate, well maintained toilets must be there in the school. There should be a separate common room for both boys and girls, so that when they do not have a class, they can actually go back there and can discuss something productive, maybe something about sports, something about some kind of participation that they're looking forward to, some kind of co-curricular activity that they are planning to participate in. There should be a provision of indoor games. Usually students provide table tennis kind of opportunity to students. So anything which indoor games, chess, etc., should be there for the students. A canteen should be there, and computer facilities should be there for students. Now, for establishing cordial relationships with the society, a school can adopt a couple of measures. For example, educated persons, social workers, and even local leaders, political leaders for that matter, should be associated with the school in different capacities. Not to a very great extent, but yes, to some extent, in different capacities, they should be associated with the school. Parents also should be involved in the activities of the schools. So parents are the primary caregivers of the children. They have maximum influence on the students. So it's important that in what schools are doing, parents should also be aware of that, and somewhere, at times they should also be involved in the various activities of the school. Local people as well as parents should be invited on school festivals and social cultural functions. So something which happens, once in a year or twice in a year, local people and parents should be invited. It's a good practice to invite them. Then it's important that schools should organize a regular parent-teacher meeting where the teachers get an opportunity to interact with the parent and tell him that the student is doing very well, so that the parent can actually be very proud about it. Or the teacher gets an opportunity to tell the parent that I feel I'm concerned about this particular student. He seems to be very shy, or maybe he's a very slow student. He needs some effort from your end also. So it's important that these kinds of interactions, meetings can be arranged. Learned people, senior citizens with higher achievements, they should be invited in schools where they can actually come and give their feedback to the school administration and students, or they can give some suggestions and advice, or they can talk about their the kind of life struggles that they had and how they bypassed all that, what obstacles they had in life, what all achievements they had. So where a platform where they can talk about their stories and their success. So this brings us to an end of this particular topic. Also, it brings us to an end of this particular video. Thank you.